Assalamu alaikum student. I am Dr. Iram Imran. I am professor and head of department physiology at FRPMC. My email address is drerunimran@gmail.com. Today is the first lecture of physiology of the module respiratory module, and the topic is the functional organization of respiratory system. So now let's discuss what are learning objectives. Now, what are the learning objectives of this lecture? At the end of the lecture, the student should be able to understand what is the goal of respiration and what are the two processes of respiration. Discuss the non-respiratory functions of respiratory system. Discuss the functional anatomy of respiratory system. Discuss the function of different respiratory airways. Discuss lungs and chest wall. Discuss the anatomical and functional division of respiratory tract and the concept of the anatomical dead space. Discuss the functions of pleural fluid. So these are the learning objectives. Now, what are the goals of respiration? Actually, the goal of respiration is to deliver the oxygen to the tissues and to remove the carbon dioxide from the tissues. Different metabolic reactions in the body generate tremendous amount of carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide needs to be eliminated out of the body because it is toxic to the body. So the ultimate goal of respiration is not just taking in oxygen in the lungs and taking out carbon dioxide from the lungs. Ultimate goal is that this oxygen should reach your body cells and the carbon dioxide should be removed from the body cells out into the environment. So this is the ultimate goal of respiration. For this, actually, the respiration is divided into two related processes. One is known as the internal respiration and the other one is known as external respiration. Now let's discuss what is internal respiration. Now, internal respiration is the respiration which is occurring in the cells, which is occurring at the cellular level. So, it is also known as cellular respiration. Now, here you can see that this is the cell, and in the cell, what is actually happening, that the oxygen and the food, what we take, the food and the oxygen, they combine together and they produce energy, and also a tremendous amount of carbon dioxide is released. So energy and carbon dioxide is released, and the process of this, which is occurring in the cell, it's occurring basically in the mitochondria of the cell, in which the food combines with the oxygen and produce ATP and also produce carbon dioxide. So this process which is occurring within the cell, this type of respiration is known as internal respiration or cellular respiration, because it is occurring within the cells of the body. Now, second type of respiration is known as external respiration. Now, external respiration involves all those sequence of events in which the oxygen moves from atmosphere. You can see here that oxygen from the atmosphere is all the way moving and coming here in the cells. So all these processes, the processes which are involved in moving the oxygen from the atmosphere to the cell, they are actually termed as external respiration. Okay? And always the carbon dioxide is going to move in opposite direction. So moving of carbon dioxide from the cell into the blood, then it is going in the pulmonary circulation, then coming in the lung, and then moving out into the atmosphere. So all the sequence of processes which are occurring from cell till the atmosphere, these are included in the external respiration. Okay, so internal respiration is the respiration over here which is taking over here in the cells. In the cells, you can see food combines with oxygen and produce carbon dioxide, water and ATP. This carbon dioxide, it goes out of the cell, comes in the systemic circulation, goes in the heart, then in the pulmonary circulation, and then in the lungs, and it's expelled out. So these processes are known as the external processes or the external respiration, and the oxygen coming from the atmosphere come in the lungs, then in the pulmonary circuit, then in the heart, then in the systemic circulation, and then in the tissue. Up till here, it is the, you can see this is the fourth step of external respiration. So external respiration is actually divided into 4 steps. What are the 4 steps? First step, that oxygen is moving from atmosphere into the lungs. This is the first step, which is known as ventilation or breathing. You have taken the oxygen from atmosphere into the lungs and carbon dioxide from the lungs to the atmosphere. So this is known as ventilation or breathing, which includes inspiration and expiration. Inspiration, taking in air, expiration, giving out air to the atmosphere. ठीक है. रेस्पिरेशन पूरा ब्रॉड टर्म है. रेस्पिरेशन में हमने कहा कि there are 2 processes, internal respiration and external respiration. In the external respiration, the first step is ventilation or breathing, means moving of air in and out of the lungs. बस सिर्फ यहाँ तक ऑक्सीजन यहाँ आ गई, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड बाहर निकल गई. So this is inspiration, this is expiration, and both are known as breathing or ventilation. Now second step is diffusion of gas between this lung and the pulmonary circuit. ठीक है. अब pulmonary capillaries पे जो diffusion हो रहा है, जो exchange, as you know, these oxygen and carbon dioxide, they both are the lipid soluble, so they easily cross the capillary wall, है ना, और क्रॉस करके they come in the pulmonary circuit में आ गए, and this pulmonary circuit में जो movement हो रही है, that is known as diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is moving in opposite direction, and oxygen from the lungs to the pulmonary circuit, and carbon dioxide from pulmonary circulation into the lungs. So this is the second step of external respiration. The third step of external respiration is the transport of these gases. As we can see that these gases, since they are lipid soluble, so they cannot be transported in the plasma as such, so they circulate or they are transported. We'll see in subsequent lectures that how they are being transported all the way. They come in the lung, they come in the heart, and then they are coming in the systemic capillaries, how they are being transported, and this is again the third process of the external respiration. Now the fourth, that at the tissue level, fourth step of the external respiration, that how this oxygen is being exchanged from the systemic capillaries into the cell. Second exchange, second diffusion हो रहा है इस level पे, and carbon dioxide from the cell into the systemic circulation. So these are the 4 steps. The first one is the ventilation or breathing. Second is exchange at the pulmonary circuit. Third is the transport, how they are transported in the watery medium of the plasma. And fourth again is the diffusion at the tissue level in the systemic capillaries. Now let's discuss, before going into the functions of the respiratory system, we'll first discuss that what are the non-respiratory functions of the respiratory system. Actually, some of the non-respiratory functions, they are also performed by the respiratory system. First is, it's a route for water loss and heat elimination. Insensible water loss भी होता है ना, और heat loss भी होती है. ठीक है, आप जब हाथ रखते हैं अपने मुंह के आगे और आप सांस बाहर निकालते हैं, तो यू सी दैट सम वाटर एंड हीट इज एलिमिनेटेड, गर्म हवा बाहर आएगी, है ना. सो इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रूट फॉर द वाटर लॉस एंड हीट एलिमिनेशन. It increases the venous return. How you will study in the cardiovascular module that the negative pressure in the respiratory system increases the venous return. It helps maintain acid-base balance. Respiratory system is a very important system in removing carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is giving the acidic medium. So it's a very important route by which the acid-base balance is maintained. Third, it helps in speech, singing, and other acts of vocalization. It will help in vocalization. Okay. the larynx has the vocal cords, and these vocal cords, they help in the vocalization. Next is the defense against inhaled foreign matter. It has got different type of macrophages and other cells of the immune system which help in the defend against the inhaled foreign matters. And it also removes, modifies, activates and inactivates various materials passing through the pulmonary circulation. There are many examples which you are going to study in different chapters at how it modifies. One of the most important function is actually that it converts the angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 1 is converted into angiotensin 2 in the lung circulation or in the alveoli. Actually over there in the lung tissue it is converted because there is an enzyme present over there which is known as angiotensin converting enzyme, which converts angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2. So how it is activating. So it's one of the example. There are lots other. Nose is also served as the sense of smell, organ of smell. Nose is the organ of smell. So these are the few of the non-respiratory functions of the respiratory system. Okay, this slide shows the parts of the respiratory system. There are different parts of the respiratory system. Now the respiratory system consists of respiratory airways, the tubes actually, which start from the nose till the and leading into the lungs. So all these structures which are involved in moving the air from the nose till the from the atmosphere into the lungs. So all these structures, they are the tubes actually, and they are also known as respiratory airways. Then there are the pair of lungs. You can see these are the two pair. These are the pair of lungs present in the thoracic cavity. And the third, so we have respiratory airways. Second is we have the lungs, and third, very important, is the outer chest wall. This chest wall, which is formed by the 12 pairs of ribs, and anteriorly they are joined with the sternum, and posteriorly they are joined with the thoracic vertebrae. And this chest wall is very important in moving the air in and out of the lungs. How we will see later. But at this stage, you remember that this chest wall is very important in moving the air out and in of the lungs, means it is helping in ventilation process. Okay, so we have got respiratory tubes or respiratory airways, we have got paired lungs, and we have got the chest cavity. Okay. Now let's discuss the respiratory airways. These respiratory airways, they are nothing but they are the tubes. Okay, they are the tubes which carry the air between the atmosphere and the lungs. ठीक है, lungs और alveoli, lungs को हम basically they are made up of alveoli. तो वो air sacs भी कहते हैं, alveoli भी कह लें आप उनको, या lungs कह लें. ठीक है, so these are the connection. These tubes are nothing but they are the connections between the atmosphere and the lung tissue. How the air reaches the lung is by way of these respiratory airways. ठीक है, so there are different type of airways. Number one is the nasal passages, which is also known as the nose or the nasal passages. Here you can see this is the nose. Then the second part is the pharynx. This is the pharynx. Okay, this is the pharynx, which is a common passage for both for the food and also for the air. है ना, तो एयर अगर इसीलिए अगर नाक बंद है, still you can breathe through the mouth because the pharynx is actually a common passage. ये passage है, ये हवा भी आ रही है यहाँ पर and food भी यहीं पर आ रहा है. So it acts as a common passage for both the systems, for both the respiratory and the digestive system. Then is the larynx. Over here you can see the larynx. This is the larynx. Then is the trachea. This cartilage part is known as the trachea. This trachea now divides into right and the left main bronchi है इनके, right and the left bronchus. Singular is bronchus. So right bronchus, left bronchus, and then they divide repeatedly to form smaller and narrowed branches which are known as bronchioles. and these are the bronchioles which lead into the air sacs which are known as the ampulla. So this is the these are the different tubes, actually they are known as the respiratory airways. Okay, now we'll discuss different parts of the airways. Okay, we have discussed that respiratory system has got three main parts: the airways, number two is the paired lung, and number three is the chest wall or the thoracic cavity. So we are going to discuss each part in detail. So first we are dealing with the respiratory airways. Now the first airway, that is the nose. It is actually the airway. It provides airway. Now the most important function of the nose is actually it helps in moistening of the air, means it humidify the air. ठीक है, उसमें water add करके उसको humidify करता है nose. It warms the air. ठीक है, the air which is going in the nose, it becomes, its temperature is increased to about 1 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so the air which we are taking in the nose, its temperature is going to be increased to 1 degree Fahrenheit. It helps in moisturizing and it helps in the filtering of the air. The air is being filtered because there are hairs are present and which trap the foreign particles. And all these function collectively, these three functions, the moistening, the warming and filtering of the air, they are collectively known as air conditioning functions of the upper airways. Actually, it's not only the function of nose, actually it's the primarily it's the function of nose, but upper airways slightly they are also involved in this air conditioning function. So if someone asks what are the air conditioning functions, so there are three air conditioning functions, which is moistening of the air, increasing the temperature to about 1 degree Fahrenheit, and filtration of the air. Second very important function is the resonating chamber of the speech. It provides a resonance to the speech, and it's actually nose is the organ of smell, so it has the olfactory receptors. Okay, smell के receptors जो होते हैं, they are present in the nose, so it also helps in the sense of smell. Now the second part is the pharynx. As I told you that this pharynx is a common passage for both the, you can see this is the mouth oral cavity, this is the nasal cavity. They both open into a common cavity which is known as the pharynx. Now this pharynx is acting as a common passage for both the respiratory system and the digestive system. So your food also enter over here, you get your air can also enter. So if your nose is blocked, if there is congestion in the nose and you cannot breathe through your nose, so what will happen, that air you can inhale through the mouth and your air will come into the second part of the respiratory tube or the respiratory airway, which is known as the pharynx. So from the nose, the air then moves into the pharynx. The third part of the respiratory airways is actually the larynx or the voice box. Now, as your air moves into the larynx, it performs very important three functions. Actually, inferiorly, now this larynx के नीचे फिर क्या है? Trachea. The next airway is the trachea. So it is continuous with the trachea or the windpipe. Now, this is also known as voice box. The larynx is also known as the voice box. And what are different parts of larynx and what are the different functions of different parts? You will study all this in the anatomy in the head and neck portion. So at present we'll just discuss what are the three main functions of this voice box or the larynx. It helps in vocalization. Everyone knows that there are vocal cords which are present in the larynx and which helps in the vocalization or speech में. ठीक है, resonance speech को दिया था, that was the nose, and the vocal cords or the larynx the vocal cords, they are the part of larynx and which help in the vocalization. So these are the vocal cords which are present in the larynx and they are actually helping in the act of vocalization. Next, it's help in open airway and it's help in breathing. As we have discussed that air from the nose comes into the pharynx, then it moves into the larynx. So it's a third part of the respiratory airway. It also help in switching mechanism to route air and food into proper channels. Actually, अब जब आप फूड लेते हैं, when you swallow, ठीक है, तो फूड जो है वो फेरिंग्स में आता है और फेरिंग्स से फिर लैरिंग्स में ना चला जाए, है ना. The food should goes from the pharynx into the esophagus. So what happens when you swallow? So what happens that this the larynx closes. ठीक है, ड्यूरिंग द एक्ट ऑफ swallowing larynx क्लोज हो जाएगा, सो दैट योर फूड माइट नॉट एंटर इनटू योर लंग्स. अदरवाइज लंग्स में एस्पिरेशन नमोनिया हो जाएगा, वहाँ फूड एंटर हो जाएगा. ठीक है, एंड वंस यू आर ब्रीदिंग, तो आपने जो है वो देन द वोकल कॉर्ड, देन द larynx इज ओपन एंड अलाउ द एयर टू एंटर इनटू योर लंग्स. तो इसीलिए कहते हैं कि जब आप swallow करें, ड्यूरिंग द एक्ट ऑफ swallowing, जब आप swallow करें तो डोंट टॉक एट दैट टाइम, है ना, क्योंकि एयर फिर larynx में जाएगी, तो एयर जाएगी तो फूड, चांसेस आर देयर दैट फूड माइट आल्सो एंटर इनटू योर larynx. ठीक है, सो नेवर टॉक ड्यूरिंग द एक्ट ऑफ swallowing. ठीक है, वैसे आप खाना खाते बात कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जब आप swallow करते हैं, ठीक है, जब फूड को आप माउथ कैविटी से जब नीचे लेके आते हैं, तो उस वक्त जो है वो आप बात ना करो. ठीक है, सो बिकॉज एट दैट टाइम योर वोकल कॉर्ड्स दे आर शटिंग ऑफ, और अगर आप बात करेंगे तो वो वोकलाइजेशन की वजह से दे विल ओपन एंड दे विल, then what they will do that your food might enter into your lungs, and that is causing damage to your lungs. So what are the three important functions of the larynx? It acts as an organ for vocalization, it provides the airway for the passage of air, and it helps in the switching mechanism. What is the switching mechanism? That it is closed during the swallowing process and it is open during the breathing process. So we discussed the three parts: the nose, the pharynx, then the larynx, which leads into another tube which is known as the trachea. Now this trachea is actually a rigid non-muscular tube. It is made up of C-shaped cartilage. Now what is the function of cartilage is in the trachea is to keep it patent, to keep it open, to prevent it from collapsing. Okay, your trachea is always open because of the ring of cartilage which is encircling it. You can see that these are the circles or the rings of cartilages, and this is actually keeping it patent and open and prevents its collapse. So there is a single tube in the center, and then it divides into right and the left bronchus, or the right and the left bronchi. Okay, these are the main or the principal or the primary bronchi. Then they divide repeatedly into branches, and these branches which become short as they like, it's just like the branches of the tree that they divide repeatedly, and the subsequent branches they become narrow and shorter and they become more numerous. तो एक branch निकली, उसमें से further branches हुई, फिर उसमें से branches हुई. So that's why the branches they become narrower and shorter and more numerous. Okay, now these tubes, these bronchioles, okay, these bronchioles, there is a cartilage in the primary bronchus, and they are also patent by this cartilage. So but in the wall of the bronchioles there are no cartilages to hold them open. So since there are no cartilages, they can collapse. तो फिर इनकी wall किससे बनी हुई है? ठीक है, so these bronchioles they are made up of, the wall of these bronchioles they are made up of smooth muscles. They have muscle in the wall. Okay, they don't have cartilage, they have muscle. So whenever there is a smooth muscle in the wall, it is always innervated by the autonomic nervous system. You know, this autonomic nervous system has two components, sympathetic and parasympathetic. So smooth muscle is always innervated by the autonomic nervous system. That's why the smooth muscle, they are autonomous in function, they are involuntary. ठीक है, they are not under your control, वो खुद से काम करते हैं, because they are innervated by the autonomic nervous system. So this smooth muscle is actually subjected to controlled by the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. इसलिए और इसके अलावा it is also controlled by different local hormones and certain local chemicals or the mediators which are released. ठीक है, स्मूथ मसल जो है चूंकि वो वॉलेंट्री कंट्रोल नहीं है, उसका इनवॉलेंट्री कंट्रोल है, बिकॉज स्मूथ मसल इज इनर्वेटेड बाय द ऑटोनॉमिक नर्वस सिस्टम, और वो जो है ऑटोनॉमिक नर्वस सिस्टम भी हो गया, इसके अलावा हार्मोन्स और लोकल मीडिएटर्स से भी रिस्पॉन्ड करता है. ठीक है, स्मूथ मसल. एंड दिस स्मूथ मसल, whenever there is a smooth muscle, it contracts and it relaxes. You know, muscle is always contracting and relaxing. It means that the ये bronchioles जो है इनका diameter छोटा और बड़ा हो सकता है, but ये जो trachea और primary bronchi है, since they have cartilage, they cannot collapse or expand. इनका जो है they are always open or they are always patent. But in case of bronchioles, since they are smooth muscles, so they can muscle can contract and can relax. When it contracts, its lumen gets shorter, and when they relax, its lumen get larger. Means these bronchioles can be dilated, which is known as bronchodilation, and they can be constricted, which is known as bronchoconstriction. ठीक है, under the influence of autonomic nervous system, under the influence of various hormones and various local mediators. ठीक है, कुछ जो है वो ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन करेंगे, कुछ जो है वो ब्रोंको डायलेशन करेंगे. सो अब इनको एक्सपेंड करना है, तो ये इनको खोलना है हमें. तो जब आप देखो, दे एक्चुअली दीज ब्रोंक्यूल्स, दे आर मेकिंग द पार्ट ऑफ द लंग. कैन यू सी दिस? दे आर मेकिंग द पार्ट ऑफ द लंग. दे आर सो मच प्रेजेंट इन द लंग. दे आर highly branched and they are making the part of the lung. So look, I have written in the red over here that the pressures which expand the lung, they are also going to expand these bronchioles. ये जब लंग खींचेगा, लंग बड़ा होगा, तो ये bronchioles भी क्या होंगी? ये भी बड़ी हो जाएंगी. They are also being expanded. So the same pressures which keeps the lung expanded will also expand these bronchioles. This is a very important point. जब लंग बढ़ा तो ये ब्रोंक्यूल्स भी खुल गई और फिर एयर जो है वो अंदर आ गई आराम से. ठीक है, सो द सेम प्रेशर्स व्हिच कीप द लंग एक्सपेंडेड आल्सो causes the expansion of these bronchioles, because these bronchioles, they are the part of the lung tissue. Now I have told you that these bronchiole diameter is controlled by different type of signals. One is the sympathetic nervous signal, जिसमें हमारे पास autonomic nervous system है. In the autonomic nervous system we have got sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic आपको पता है क्या रिलीज करता है? नॉरएपिनेफ्रिन रिलीज करता है. और अभी आपने चूंकि ये सिस्टम नहीं पढ़ा है, तो आई ब्रीफली टेल यू दैट सिंपैथेटिक जो है वो उसके दो रिसेप्टर्स होते हैं, अल्फा रिसेप्टर्स एंड बीटा रिसेप्टर्स हैं. जो लंग के ब्रोंक्यूल्स के ऊपर जो रिसेप्टर्स होते हैं, दे आर द बीटा 2 रिसेप्टर्स. इससे याद रखना है कि लंग्स दो हैं तो रिसेप्टर्स बीटा 2 है, हार्ट एक है, हार्ट के ऊपर बीटा 1 रिसेप्टर है. 1 से आपको याद रहेगा हार्ट is 1, so beta 1 receptors, they are present in the heart, beta 2 receptors, they are present in the lungs. Now what is the function? Whenever there is excessive sympathetic stimulation, it leads to activation of the beta 2 receptors, which leads to bronchodilation. Your bronchioles get dilated whenever there is a strong sympathetic stimulation. And if there is a strong parasympathetic stimulation, the parasympathetic nerve endings, they release acetylcholine at the nerve terminal, and this acetylcholine is going to cause bronchoconstriction. Mostly the sympathetic and parasympathetic system, they have opposing functions, they have opposite functions. So if sympathetic is causing bronchodilation, the parasympathetic is going to do bronchoconstriction. Okay, so the which receptors are present for the bronchodilation? They are the beta 2 receptors. Now the hormonal control में हमारे पास बहुत सारे हैं, जिसमें हमने अभी बात की acetylcholine है. Now histamine is a local mediator, and this histamine is also a very powerful bronchoconstrictor. Okay, and adrenergic or the beta agonist, they actually relax broncho. मैंने कहा था स्मूथ मसल जब रिलैक्स होगा तो ब्रोंको डायलेशन होगी. स्मूथ मसल जब कंस्ट्रिक्ट होगा तो इट विल लीड्स टू द bronchoconstriction. So histamine during different allergic process जब होता है तो उसमें ब्रीदिंग डिफिकल्टीज भी होती है ना, क्यों? क्योंकि उसमें ब्रोंको कंस्ट्रिक्शन हो जाती है, आपकी ब्रोंक्यूल्स बिल्कुल कंस्ट्रिक्ट हो जाती हैं, जिसकी वजह से एयर की मूवमेंट जो है वो डिफिकल्ट हो जाती है। व्हेनेवर देयर इज ब्रोंको डायलेशन, अगर किसी को एस्थमा है तो हम उसको ब्रोंको डायलेटर्स देते हैं ताकि उनकी ब्रोंक्यूल्स को यू कैन डायलेट इट एंड सो दैट द एयर कैन इजीली मूव इन एंड आउट ऑफ दीज ब्रोंक्यूल्स. Now we have discussed all the respiratory airways को हमने discuss कर लिया. Now one very important thing is that all these lining of the respiratory जो आपका airway है उसकी जो lining epithelium है, this is the epithelial cells हैं, and they epithelial cells जो होते हैं they are ciliated होते हैं. You can see the cilia, and over the cilia these are epithelial lining cells, यानी from the nasal cavity up to the wall सारी जो आपकी respiratory tract है it is lined with the ciliated epithelial cells हैं, and these epithelial cells के ऊपर जो है एक coating है that is of the mucus है, they are lined with the mucus है. Now what happened that what is the function of these cilia, that they trap the particles, particles को foreign particles को they trap it, and this mucus is helping in removal of that foreign particle from this ciliated epithelium. ठीक है, अब म्यूकस जो है इसको वॉश आउट कर देगा एंड देन यू कैन रिमूव इट, आइदर यू कफ्ड आउट, आप फिर वो कफ करके उसको बाहर निकाल देते हैं, और यू स्वालो इट इनटू द डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम, या फिर आप उस को जो है म्यूकस कंटेनिंग दैट foreign particle, then now the foreign particle is first attached to the cilia, then the mucus go and attach over there over that foreign particle, and then either you coughed it out or you swallow it into your digestive system. So this is how this mucus along with the particle, that is the foreign particle, is removed, and it's a protective function of the whole of the respiratory passages. Now last part, that is the lung. We have discussed that respiratory system has got three main parts. So first part we have discussed that it consists of respiratory airways or respiratory passages. Now second is the lung. Okay, the lung, they occupied much of the thoracic cavity, as we saw in the previous diagram, that lungs, they occupied the thoracic cavity. They are paid lung. Now, what the lung tissue is made up of? Is it a muscle? No, lung tissue is not made up of muscle. There is no muscle in the lung. Actually, the only muscle which is present in the lung is actually in the wall of these bronchioles. है ना? Bronchioles मैंने कहा था, they are the part of the lung. So first let's discuss what are the different structures which make up the lung. Lung tissue is consist of all these branching branching bronchioles. जितनी भी branching airways हैं जो हैं, they are actually making up the lung. इसके अलावा alveoli, ठीक है, the sac-like structure, these bronchioles, they expand and they form the alveolar ducts and alveolar sacs. देखेंगे आगे. Then are the pulmonary capillaries or the pulmonary blood vessels हैं उसके अंदर, and the large quantities of elastic connective tissue. So we have got four things which make up the lung. Connective tissue, it's made up of elastic connective tissues, इसीलिए इसके अंदर elasticity है, it can expand and it can recoil, वापस अपनी जगह पे आ सकता है और expand हो सकता है. Elastic कैसे अब खींच सकता है, वापस आ सकता है. So lungs में भी क्योंकि elastic tissue है, so it can be expand or it can recoil back to its normal resting state. So made up of elastic tissue, it is made up of highly branching bronchioles, pulmonary vessels, and also it is made up of alveoli. So these are the four structures. There is no muscle. The only muscle which is present is in the wall of the bronchioles and the wall of the vessels. Pulmonary जो vessels हैं उनकी wall में भी smooth muscle होता है, बस वो muscle है इसके अंदर, बाकी lung tissue has no muscle itself, it's not made up of muscle. Now the third part of the respiratory tract is the outer chest wall. This you will discuss more detail in anatomy, that how they are actually, the chest wall is formed, which is known as thorax, and it's made up of 12 pairs of rib, and which join anteriorly with the sternum, and posteriorly they are joined with the thoracic vertebrae. So and different muscles attached on how these muscles they function and all these, this you are going to study in the anatomy. Now alveoli. Now what are the alveoli? They are the inflatable sac-like structures. You can see a single alveolus over here. This alveolus, they are the गुच्छा है ये एक्चुअली ना, एक अंगूर के अंदर जैसे आप अंगूर की डंडियां जो हैं, that is the bronchioles, and then this they are the sac-like structures, and these sac-like structures they are known as the alveoli. अब हमने एक alveolus का कट सेक्शन लेके और ये एक alveolus को कट करके अंदर से अंगूर को अंदर से देख रहे हैं, ठीक है. So this is a cut section. Now what are the different structures which are present in the alveoli? You can see that this alveolus is a very in close proximity with the pulmonary circulation or the pulmonary capillaries. इसके बिल्कुल साथ में pulmonary capillaries है. So that's why it's a site for gas exchange. ठीक है, gas exchange यहीं पर होगा ना. सबसे पहले हमने देखा था कि एक्सटर्नल रेस्पिरेशन में एयर जो है वो लंग से पल्मोनरी सर्किट में आती है, तो यहाँ एक्सचेंज हो रहा है. ऑक्सीजन यहाँ से यहाँ जा रही है फ्रॉम एल्वुलस टू पल्मोनरी कैपिलरीज, एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड फ्रॉम पल्मोनरी कैपिलरीज इनटू द एल्वुलस. सो हाउ दिस इज वेरी इन क्लोज प्रॉक्सिमेशन. ठीक है, और इसकी जो थिकनेस है वो इतनी कम है, 0.5 माइक्रोमीटर. आपका जो एक ट्रेसिंग पेपर है उससे भी थिन है इसकी थिकनेस. आपको नज़र तो इतनी ज़्यादा आ रहा है ये, but its thickness is 0.5 micrometer, which is very less than the tracing paper. तो यानी इसका मतलब है कि ऑक्सीजन कितनी रेडिली डिफ्यूज हो जाती है, और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड ऑक्सीजन बोथ आर सो रेडिली डिफ्यूज, और जैसे कोई चीज़ एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करती, कोई मेम्ब्रेन, क्योंकि कितनी पतली मेम्ब्रेन. और वो भी है कि these gases are lipid soluble, तो they can cross very easily. Now it consists of, now these alveoli they are lined by a layer of epithelial cells. This pink में जो आपको ये जो cells की layer नजर आ रही है, that is known as the type 1 alveolar epithelial cell. These are nothing but just the epithelium, जहाँ हर जगह epithelium जो covering होती है, the covering of the alveolus is formed by the type 1 alveolar epithelial cells, and among these you can see some bigger cells. These are known as the type 2 alveolar epithelial cells. Now this type 2 alveolar epithelial cells, they are actually very important because they secrete a very important substance which is known as surfactant. Now what is a surfactant and what are its functions? We are going to study in detail in subsequent lectures. So this surfactant is released by the type 2 alveolar epithelial cells. Another structure which you can see over here is the alveolar macrophages. Now what are the function of macrophages? These are fixed tissue macrophages which are present in the lung tissue, and they are actually guarding the lungs. मतलब ये guard करते हैं lumen को. अच्छा, अब क्या होता है कि वो foreign particles तो हमने कहा था, ज़्यादातर foreign particles they are removed by the mucus and the ciliated epithelium का combined action से ये cilia में trap हो जाते हैं, cilia उनको hold कर लेता है, फिर mucus में trap होके and they are expelled out. But those particles which are not removed by those ciliated epithelium, they might enter into the lung and in the alveolus, then they are actually destroyed by these alveolar macrophages. So they are actually the fixed tissue macrophages of the lung. Now, how we classify the respiratory tract? There are two classifications, that either we classify anatomically and we are also dividing it physiologically, or the functional classification. As you know that we are teaching physiology, so we are more concerned with the physiological classification. But let's see what is the anatomical classification. Anatomically, you divide the respiratory tract into upper respiratory tract and the lower respiratory tract. Upper airways or upper respiratory tract, and lower airways or lower respiratory tract. Okay. Now the upper respiratory tract, this is the demarcation, दो circles दिखाएं यहाँ तक, ठीक है. अब ये कौन सा पार्ट नजर आ रहा है? दिस इज लैरिंग्स. लैरिंग्स में जो वोकल कॉर्ड्स हैं, उनके जो ऊपर तक पोर्शन ऑफ द लैरिंग्स अबव द वोकल कॉर्ड्स फ्रॉम द नोज, नोज से लेकर, यानी इसमें आ गया नोज, फेरिंग्स, लैरिंग्स टिल द वोकल कॉर्ड्स, यानी वोकल कॉर्ड्स के ऊपर तक एक लाइन खींच लीजिए. वोकल कॉर्ड्स के ऊपर, अपर पार्ट ऑफ द वोकल कॉर्ड्स पे हम एक लाइन ड्रॉ कर देते हैं. the structures above this line, they are known as the upper respiratory airways or upper respiratory tract, and the structures which are below this, they are known as lower respiratory tract or the lower airways. इन दोनों का डॉक्टर भी डिफरेंट होता है ना. अपर एयरवेज को देखने के लिए हमारे पास क्या होता है, ईएनटी स्पेशलिस्ट होता है जो हमारा एयर, नोज और थ्रोट को एग्जामिन करता है. और लोअर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट के लिए हमारे पास मेडिसिन का या जो है वो रेस्पिरेटरी का जो डॉक्टर है, पल्मोनोलॉजिस्ट, वो उसको डील करेगा. ठीक है. सो द लोअर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट इज फ्रॉम द वोकल कॉर्ड से लेकर टिल द लंग्स तक जो आपके पास जितने भी स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं, they are involved in the lower respiratory or the lower airways. Now the physiological division. Since we are teaching physiology, so we are more concerned with this division. According to this division, we have got two zones. उसमें भी दो ही थे, upper and lower respiratory tract. इसमें भी दो ही हैं. There are two zones, conducting zone and the respiratory zone. Now the conducting zone, इसमें क्या है? This is the zone which just carry the air from one part to another part. ठीक है. And they are not involved in gas exchange. इसमें gas exchange नहीं हो रहा. लव से जाहिर है conducting zone. It's just conducting the air. It's just moving the air from one part to another part. ये जो है nose से लेकर up till terminal bronchioles. ना हमने कहा था bronchioles they divide repeatedly. जो सबसे लास्ट जो ब्रांचेस हैं उनको हम रेस्पिरेटरी ब्रोंक्यूल्स कहते हैं. So most terminal branches of the bronchioles, they are known as the respiratory bronchioles, और उनके ऊपर बिल्कुल जो ब्रांचेस हैं उनको हम terminal bronchioles कहते हैं. तो ये नोज से लेकर till the terminal bronchioles यहाँ तक, this is known as the conducting zone. यानी कंडक्टिंग जोन में हमारे पास आ गया ऊपर से नोज, ऊपर का दिखाया नहीं इसमें, nose, pharynx, larynx, then is the trachea, right and the left bronchi, then are the bronchioles, and you can see repeatedly they divide, and the last terminal bronchioles तक they are included in the conducting zone. ठीक है. Now इसका क्या फंक्शन है? ये वही फंक्शन है, मैंने कहा था अपर एयरवेज का फंक्शन यही होता है कि वो ह्यूमिडिफाई करता है एयर को, फिल्टर करता है एंड वार्म करता है. ठीक है. यानी एयर कंडीशनिंग फंक्शन है अपर एयरवेज का, जिसमें पर्टिकुलरली दिस फंक्शन इज पर्टिकुलरली ऑफ नोज, बट बाकी एयरवेज का भी थोड़ा बहुत ये काम है. ठीक है. So the upper airways, they are actually helping in the conducting of the air, and other function is in the air conditioning function. और एयर की कंडक्शन करता है, एक्सचेंज नहीं करता है. ठीक है. Now the respiratory zone. The second is known as the respiratory zone, जिसमें आपके पास आ जाते हैं respiratory bronchioles, then are the ये alveolar ducts है leading into alveolar sacs. Alveolar sacs, alveolar ducts and respiratory bronchioles, they are the part of respiratory zone. अब इसका नाम respiratory zone है, means यहाँ पर गैस एक्सचेंज हो सकता है. These parts, they are in close proximity with the pulmonary circulation. देखा था ना भी alveolus के साथ आपको pulmonary capillary, तो they are in close proximity with the pulmonary circuit. That's why गैस एक्सचेंज हो सकता है. अब यहाँ पर पल्मोनरी कैपिलरी ही नहीं है तो गैस एक्सचेंज कैसे होगा? ठीक है. और उसकी वॉल भी ऐसी नहीं है कि यहाँ से गैस एक्सचेंज पॉसिबल. नाउ यू कैन सी इन द रेस्पिरेटरी ब्रोंक्यूल. अच्छा, रेस्पिरेटरी ब्रोंक्यूल क्यों गैस एक्सचेंज कर रहा है? टर्मिनल ब्रोंक्यूल तो नहीं कर रहा था. रेस्पिरेटरी ब्रोंक्यूल को अगर आप करीब से देखो यहाँ पर, तो इसमें आपको सैक लाइक स्ट्रक्चर यानी एल्वुलाई जो हैं यहीं से शुरू हो जाते हैं फ्रॉम द रेस्पिरेटरी ब्रोंक्यूल. जब alveoli they are present in the respiratory bronchiole, that's why the respiratory bronchioles are involved with the gas exchange. ठीक है. So gas exchange site हमारे पास कौन कौन सी हो गई? Respiratory bronchioles, alveolar ducts and alveolar sac. So these are the site of gas exchange, and they are the site of gas conduction only, and also they are causing air conditioning function. So this is very important. यानी यहाँ हमारी air जो है वो सिर्फ एक्सचेंज नहीं हो रही है. ठीक है. सो व्हाट यू आर ब्रीदिंग ओवर हियर, यहाँ एक्सचेंज नहीं हो रही, तो यहाँ की जो एयर है वो हमारी एक्सचेंज में हेल्पफुल नहीं है. तो यहाँ की एयर हमारी क्या हो रही है? वेस्ट हो रही है. सो सच एयर इज नोन एज द द डेड स्पेस इन. जो भी एयर वेस्ट होती है उसको हम डेड स्पेस कहते हैं. ठीक है, चूंकि ये एनाटॉमिकल स्ट्रक्चर्स में प्रेजेंट हैं, दैट्स व्हाई दिस एयरवे इज नोन एज एनाटॉमिकल डेड स्पेस. इस स्पेस को हमने क्या कह दिया? एनाटॉमिकल डेड स्पेस. Okay, so in the air which is present in the anatomical dead space, it never reaches the gas exchange area and it's never exchange. It is wasted. यानी हमने अगर एयर ली है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हम ईच ब्रेथ के साथ 500 ml ऑफ एयर लेते हैं. ठीक है, जब हम 500 ml ऑफ ब्रेथ एयर लेते हैं तो उसमें से हमारी 150 कंडक्टिंग जोन में रह जाती है और 350 हमारी रेस्पिरेटरी जोन में रहती है. तो कितनी हमारी एनाटॉमिकल डेड स्पेस की कितना ml हो गया? 150 ml. इट रिमेन्स इन आवर कंडक्टिंग जोन एंड इट्स नेवर अवेलेबल फॉर गैस एक्सचेंज. ठीक है, वो वेस्ट हो गई, द वेस्टेड एयर. एंड सच टाइप ऑफ डेड स्पेस इज नोन एज एनाटॉमिकल डेड स्पेस एंड इट्स नेवर अवेलेबल फॉर द गैस एक्सचेंज. नाउ we have discussed everything. Now few important structures. Muscles हमने देखा कि अभी हम बहुत सारे आप मसल पढ़ेंगे, लेकिन चूंकि diaphragm is a very important muscle, so let's discuss that. It's a dome shape. This is a dome shape muscle है यहाँ पर. ये this is the diaphragm है, dome shape है. इसके ऊपर आप देख रहे हो lungs और heart इस तरह से rest कर रहे हैं, and it separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity. It's actually a skeletal muscle है. ठीक है, ये skeletal muscle है and it is innervated by the phrenic nerve. It's a primary muscle of inspiration. It's the main muscle of inspiration. Now the last part, very important part, that is the pleura and the pleural cavity. Okay, now what happened? This is the right lung, this is the left lung. You can see that around each lung there is a sac of serous membrane. There is a membrane which is known as pleura. This pleura, दो pleura हैं. एक pleura एक adherent है to the lung. You can see this is actually the right bronchus and this is the left bronchus. ये hilum कहते हैं, जहाँ पर structures which enter into the lungs and leave the lungs and जो है वो उस structure को हम hilum कहते हैं. Anatomy में आप पढ़ेंगे उसको. So pleura is nothing but it's a serous membrane which lines the it's a membrane which is present around the lung. इसके दो parts हैं. पहली part है इसका visceral pleura and other is the parietal pleura. अब visceral pleura जो है ना वो तो lung से बिल्कुल चिपक गया है. It's a part of lung. आप उसको separate नहीं कर सकते, यानी बिल्कुल adherent है. कौन सा वाला pleura? Visceral. इसीलिए उसको viscera से कहा है कि वो viscera से attached है and it cannot be separated out. ठीक है, अब इसके बाद इसका दूसरा part है that is known as this one. This is known as the parietal pleura. This parietal pleura is adherent to the chest wall. अंदर से chest wall पे चिपकी हुई है. अब आपके lungs किसके अंदर है? chest cavity में है. chest cavity है. chest cavity किसकी बनी हुई है? मैंने कहा साइडों पे ribs हैं, सामने sternum, पीछे vertebral column. तो इन सब structures के around अंदर से एक membrane है that is known as the parietal pleura. ठीक है, this parietal pleura और ये continuous हैं दोनों. ये देख लो, ये यहाँ से बंद है, ये दोनों एक दूसरे के साथ कंटिन्यूस, यहाँ से क्लोज्ड. ठीक है, दे आर नॉट एक्चुअली ओपनिंग, दे आर क्लोज्ड एंड दे आर क्लोज्ड एंड फॉर्मिंग अ क्लोज्ड कैविटी विच इज नोन एज अ प्लूरल कैविटी, या इसको प्लूरल सैक कहते हैं ये कैविटी को. ठीक है, सो हमने कहा कि प्लूरा इज अ serous membranous structure which has two parts. The visceral pleura जो सराउंड कर रहा है या जो अडहेयर है विद द लंग, and second part is the parietal pleura which is adherent to the chest cavity. ठीक है, अच्छा, अब इनके बीच में एक हमारे पास स्पेस है जिसको हम कहते हैं pleural cavity या pleural sac कहते हैं. अच्छा, ये एक पोटेंशियल स्पेस और इसके अंदर एक फ्लूइड है which is known as pleural fluid. अब पोटेंशियल स्पेस का क्या मतलब हुआ? मैंने वर्ड पोटेंशियल स्पेस क्यों बोला और स्पेस क्यों नहीं बोला? एक्चुअली ये जो आपको गैप नज़र आ रहा है, ये इतना बड़ा गैप है नहीं, ठीक है। ये इस तरह से आप इमेजिन कर लो कि दो आप स्लाइड्स ले लें, ठीक है। आपने स्लाइड्स देखी, लैब में हम प्रैक्टिकल करते हैं, उसमें दो स्लाइड्स ले ली। दो स्लाइड्स जो हैं आपस में दोनों को चिपका लें, दोनों को बीच में पानी रखें एक स्लाइड के ऊपर और दूसरी स्लाइड इसके ऊपर रखें। अब ये दो स्लाइड्स जो हैं आपस में चिपक गई हैं विद अ थिन लेयर ऑफ फ्लूइड। दो स्लाइड इज द टू लेयर्स ऑफ फ्लूइड, यानी कोई बीच में स्पेस है नहीं है, लेकिन एक थिन आपने पानी डाला है, so there is a thin layer of fluid in between the two slides, so it's a potential space, यानी इसमें स्पेस नहीं है but it has a potential to become a big space। समझ आ गई? अच्छा जी, तो अब एक बलून को फुलाइए और बलून के अंदर एक ऐसे मुक्का सा रख दीजिए अपना, ये मुक्का सा, ये इस तरह का आपको एक सैक लाइक स्ट्रक्चर मिलेगा, है ना। लेकिन ये दोनों लाइनिंग जो हैं ये बिल्कुल एक दूसरे से चिपकी हुई हैं। इसमें जो फ्लूइड है ये खाली हमें इस तरह दिखाया हुआ है, इतना बड़ा स्पेस, बट देयर इज नो सच स्पेस। जस्ट रिमेंबर द टू स्लाइड्स विद अ थिन लेयर ऑफ फ्लूइड इन बिटवीन देम, ठीक है। अब इन दो स्लाइड्स को आप सेपरेट करना चाहेंगे ना, तो ये पता है सेपरेट नहीं होती, ठीक है, इतनी चिपक जाती हैं। तो अब क्या हुआ, आपके जो लंग्स हैं, अब इनके बीच में ये दो लेयर्स जो हैं वो चिपक गई हैं, ये दो लेयर्स चिपक गई हैं। तो लंग्स बेसिकली, अब ये चिपकी हुई है विसरल प्लूरा टू द लंग, दिस पैराइटल प्लूरा इज अडहेरेंट टू द थोरैसिक कैविटी। तो लंग्स जो हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस प्लूरल फ्लूइड they are adherent to your chest cavity। lungs किससे चिपक गए? chest cavity से चिपक गए। किसने चिपकाया? the thin layer of pleural fluid है। तो ये इम्पॉर्टेंट है मैकेनिक्स को पढ़ने के लिए, अगले लेक्चर्स को पढ़ने के लिए। दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड एट दिस स्टेज दैट दिस थिन लेयर ऑफ फ्लूइड, it is actually helping in adhering the lungs to the chest cavity, ठीक है। तो इसलिए अब जब चेस्ट कैविटी हमारी एक्सपेंड होगी, बड़ी होगी, तो लंग्स क्या होंगे? वो भी एक्सपेंड हो जाएंगे, वो भी खिंच जाएंगे चेस्ट कैविटी के साथ। क्यों? क्योंकि दिस प्लूरल फ्लूइड इज हेल्पिंग इन ग्लूइंग, इन हेल्पिंग इन अडहेरिंग द लंग्स टू द चेस्ट कैविटी। तो अगर चेस्ट कैविटी छोटी होगी तो लंग्स भी इतनी छोटे हो जाएंगे। चेस्ट कैविटी एक्सपेंड करेगी, बड़ी होगी, तो योर lungs, they are also going to expand. So the movement of the chest cavity is going to expand or contract your lungs। ये बहुत very important point है कि this thin layer of fluid is actually helping the lungs to glue to the chest cavity। ये यहाँ पर ये चिपका हुआ है chest cavity से, ये लेयर चिपकी हुई है with the lungs से, तो ये चिपकी हुई है उससे, और ये दोनों आपस में चिपकी हुई हैं, दोनों लेयर्स। तो लंग्स बेसिकली चिपक गए विद द थोरैसिक कैविटी, एंड मूवमेंट ऑफ द थोरैसिक कैविटी विल कॉजेस द लंग्स टू एक्सपेंड और कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। जब चेस्ट कैविटी बड़ी हो गई, बाहर की तरफ खिंच गई, तो लंग्स भी एक्सपेंड हो गए। चेस्ट कैविटी छोटी हो गई तो वो भी। सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फंक्शन ऑफ द प्लूरल फ्लूइड इज ग्लूइंग ऑफ द लंग्स टू द चेस्ट कैविटी, ठीक है। और ये एक पोटेंशियल स्पेस है, स्पेस नहीं, हमने कहा दो स्लाइड्स आपस में एक थिन लेयर ऑफ फ्लूइड से चिपकी हुई, ठीक है, जिनको अलग करना बहुत मुश्किल। लेकिन इफ देयर इज सम पैथोलॉजी और इसमें कोई फ्लूइड एक्यूमुलेट हो जाए या इसमें एयर एक्यूमुलेट हो जाए, ठीक है, तो फिर इसके अंदर प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगी। अदरवाइज इन द नॉर्मल लंग इट्स जस्ट अ पोटेंशियल स्पेस, एंड दिस पोटेंशियल स्पेस हैज अ पोटेंशियल टू बिकम अ बिग स्पेस। Now this is the BCQ. Which of the following is the first branching of the bronchial tree that has gas exchange capabilities? Terminal bronchioles, respiratory bronchioles, alveolar ducts, or alveoli? Yes, what is your answer? Think over it. I am asking for the first branching that has gas exchange capabilities. पहली कहाँ पर स्टार्ट होती है? अल्वुलाई में भी होती है, अल्वुलर डक्ट में भी होती है, रेस्पिरेटरी ब्रोंक्यूल, टर्मिनल ब्रोंक्यूल्स में तो होती ही नहीं है, तो लीव दैट टर्मिनल ब्रोंक्यूल्स, वहाँ तो होती ही नहीं गैस. तो फर्स्ट कहाँ से होती है? रेस्पिरेटरी ब्रोंक्यूल इज द फर्स्ट पार्ट विच इज इन्वॉल्व इन द गैस एक्सचेंज. ठीक है. Thank you, students, and thanks for listening. Any queries, you can contact me via my email or you can post it on the Edmodo. Thank you.